Hi, and welcome to Screens and Focus podcast, where we share and connect as we spotlight our favorite shows and movies. I'm Diana, and today we are talking about Fear the Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 1. So glad that you're here with me today. I know this is a new format for me. I am trying out this solo live stream with you, and I'm just hoping you'll bear with me. I had some audio issues earlier today when I did my Facebook weekly lives. And so I'm trying to see how it goes. So I hope the audio sounds okay. And also, it's a new format for my Fear the Walking Dead episodes. I normally have a co host with me. And so for Fear, I did not have a co host set up as of yet, but I still wanted to bring you my thoughts and my reactions and connect with all the Walking Dead universe and the community out there because I love the whole Walking Dead universe. And I was really excited that Fear was coming back on, and I had to connect with other people who are also excited about the show because we all have thoughts, right? We all are so excited to see another show come on since The Walking Dead um, show has ended. And I'm looking forward to all of the spinoffs. But for now, we have Fear, the last season of Fear the Walking Dead. So, again, thank you for being here with me today. And I wanted to start off with a question of the day. And that is, will Morgan Jones survive season 8? What do you think? I had read that he will end, um, that Morgan Jones' story will end with Fear the Walking Dead. So, what does that mean? Does that mean he won't revisit this character in any of the other spinoffs? Or does that mean he will die? Will Morgan Jones die? So we've seen that before, right? With on The Walking Dead, we saw with Rosita's character played by Christian Serratos, how she wanted to finally, end that relationship and get some closure. And so we saw what happened with her and that character. And so Lenny James has played Morgan Jones for a long time since The Walking Dead began in the first season, first episode. So, Morgan Jones is a really beloved character to so many people, including me. And so I don't know. You never want your favorite characters to die. So you want them to figure out a way to survive. I would love for him to be reunited with Rick. I think that is a feeling that a lot of Walking Dead fans, Walking Dead universe fans have, right? Is for him to reunite with Rick. That would be so special. That would be so awesome. But is Rick going to come on Fear the Walking Dead? I don't think so. So if Morgan Jones will last be seen on Fear the Walking Dead, what does that mean? So I know we have to stay tuned to figure it out, but I'm just really curious to know what others think and feel. So in the comments, I would love it if you're here on a live, or if you come back later on a replay. I would love to know your thoughts on that. And hopefully we can revisit those in the future episodes because that's going to continue. All right. So there's so much to talk about. Okay, so let's get to, there are spoilers ahead, just so you know. We are going to talk about anything that this episode delves into. And so just Madison returned at the end of last season, and she was working for PADRE as a collector, where she takes children and gives them to PADRE. And she was doing that to protect her own kids that she thought were still living. Of course, she meets up with Morgan, and Morgan explains to her what has happened, which I thought was so heartbreaking. I saw right before I watched the season premiere, I had seen the episode prior, and I came in right on that part. And I thought, wow, that was so heartbreaking for us to see Madison going through that experience again of knowing that her kids are gone. But with saying that, I still think I'm still holding out hope for Alicia. I really am. If I don't see a body, I don't believe it just yet. I think she's still out there until I see that body. I just can't. I know the actress is on a new show and everything, but it'd be nice to have a cameo or just know something hopeful will happen. So anyway, it was heartbreaking to see Madison go through that. But at that point, Morgan asks Madison to help him get his daughter back. And so when this premiered, that is where we start off. And we see Morgan being questioned by PADRE. Is that a person? I know it's a place, but I guess it may be a person too. We don't know who's on the other side of that screen. But of course, Morgan figures and they say, yeah, we know that she's not going to bring us a new collector and a child on the same day. So at that point, Morgan and Madison take the guns from the guards and point it at the mirror. At first, I'm like, what the heck is happening? I don't know who they're pointing this at. I mean, the people could run out, do whatever. But anyway, it was part of the show. And then the next thing that we see after that, oh, sorry. So Madison does say to Morgan, I'll take care of this. You go and get Mo and get off the island. So as far as she knows, that's what has happened. So she was sacrificing herself to save, for what she had done in bringing Mo there and to save Morgan and Morgan and Mo at that time. So then we are introduced to a young child, 8 years old. And of course, I knew who it was. I'm sure all of you knew who it was, but let's just go along for the ride. And she's dressed up in what appears to be this fencing outfit. And she goes out there to fight. And I thought, hey, man, you've got some skills with that, I'm sorry, for lack of a better word, that pole that she had. And I thought, ooh, she has skills that Morgan had. And so she was skilled in that way, but she lacked the mental capacity to fight it. And that was because she's haunted by these memories that she has. And so I thought that was interesting where that was going because she had these flashes of when she was a baby. And yeah, I've seen a lot of comments on that on Reddit and everywhere else as to how far back can you really remember? And does anybody remember when they were a baby? But I believe that some people can recollect things that are from a long time ago. So again, I'm going with what they're giving me here. So in seeing all of that, she wants to get better skills, not be afraid of these walkers and to be able to fight them. So she asks Dove to help her out. And in doing so, she takes over chores for Dove. And along the way, she finds out that Madison is in this cell being, held there. And we see, of course, Madison not wanting to live and trying to figure out ways to kill herself. And, by grabbing the gun of the guards and other ways. And yeah, did you see her arm? At first, I thought something had bit her when they were taking the blood out of her. But then I thought, oh, maybe she bit herself. Or maybe it's just the scarring from the blood that they're taking from her, which is interesting too. It's like, what are you testing? What are you doing? I don't know if that will come into play. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But as time goes on, we realize that that Madison and Ren begin to discuss, and Ren wants Madison to show her some moves. And at that point, she gets the sledgehammer from her and breaks the glass, and again proceeds to get the glass to cut her throat before Ren comes in and says, hey, I'm not going to take the blame for you. I wanted you to help me here. And when she says that, of course, Madison sees the scar on her wrist. And so she realizes she's Mo. She realizes how much time has passed, and that's when it is confirmed to the rest of us that there has been a time jump that I was totally shocked about. I knew there was gonna be a time jump. I didn't realize it was gonna be in the first episode. So, of course, this is a more grown-up Mo that we see, and I really actually appreciated this actress. I did really like her. So, in doing so, now Madison has this renewed purpose in her life. So, she takes her and goes to find Morgan. And it as they are going through this, of course, Ren is not wanting to be there with her and wanting to go back to the island, even though she knew there was something away from where they were at. There was something more, a longing in her that she wanted to reach out to. And so here, now that this she is experiencing this, she wants to go back. Of course, she's 8 years old. She's still a kid. So I understood that, but I also found it interesting that she was fighting with Madison so much on this. There's one point where she knocks her down, tries to take the walkie so she can call Padre. Soon there, Morgan comes upon them because he had heard them on the walkies, and they meet up with each other. And I thought that I was actually very, very shocked with Morgan. My initial reaction is, this is your child and you want her to go back to Padre? What is this? I was actually very irritated about it. But as the episode went on, I realized that Morgan was doing the best that he could as a parent. And he was faced with not being able to protect his child. And I guess in a zombie apocalypse, which none of us have been in, but if you were in that situation, the very first thing is you want your child protected from harm. And so I thought, okay, Morgan, I will I understand now. It did take me a while, but I understood why he took the actions that he did. Not that I wholeheartedly agreed with them, and not that I think he will keep with those ideals and thoughts that he has. But I at least came to terms with what he was doing. But it was interesting how he was ready to kill Madison because Padre had said, we don't have any use for her anymore. And he, has the gun to her. And of course, he doesn't do it, but he contemplates it because he wants to, again, protect his daughter. But as much as you want to protect your children, you can only do so at what cost, and what are you teaching your children, and how are you going to live with yourself and those that you love? So it's quite a dilemma that all of these characters that we are seeing in this first episode, what they are going through. We see Madison flip one way to another. First, she wants to die, and then she doesn't because she has a purpose again. And it, makes you think that having a purpose really matters to each of us. We all want a purpose. We all, if you're a parent, we all want to protect our children. So there's a lot of themes running throughout this episode. There's the theme of sacrifice, which you're willing to give up. And there's the parental love, how much you love your children. And there's surviving. How are you going to survive all this? And so all three of these things are throughout this episode, and Morgan and Madison have to deal with all of those. And even Ren has to deal with the surviving and the sacrifice. So, it was really interesting to see all of this. And, it was also, we got to see Padre, a little bit of Padre and what they think and how they feel, because in the very beginning, when they were talking to Morgan, they said, we are going to take care of Ren, Mo, and she's going to be able to separate herself from her emotions. And then we also said, they had also mentioned, parents want to rebuild with the same ideas and ways that they had before, but we don't want that. We want to build in a new way. So what is this place? And you see them training all these kids. And, I don't know. I don't know about this place. So we'll learn more as, the episodes go on, but I'm not a fan right now of this place. Yes, they can protect people, but at what cost? So, we'll see how that pans out. I did wanna bring up with Morgan how at that, houseboat, he had that graffiti on the wall, and we saw, of course, he denies that he said it was there previously when, Mo, AKA Ren, was asking, "What is this for? Why is it here? Who put it here?" And he was getting really irritated with her asking those questions. So, there's something he's dealing with. And I thought, well, this was before Grace, we see Grace. And I thought, well, this would make sense if Grace was gone because he's kind of losing himself and he's thinking about his past. But no, Grace is still in his life. So I want to know what drove him to write those things on there. And I know that we will get to see because we see in the previews when he goes to King County and how he has to face what happened to his son, Dwayne. So I thought it was interesting, and that was a foreshadowing that they have for us in this particular episode. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Um I am trying to think when Morgan and Ren reunited, she was really, reluctant to I don't blame her to warm up to him because I think he called her Mo, and she said, you know, "That's, not my name. My name is Ren," and swats his hand away, and I thought, "Oh my god." That was, I'm sure he was somewhat relieved because she wasn't connected to him, but at the same time, being a parent, that's a hard thing to do, to take from your child in that way. So, but we also get to see Ren change throughout this episode, and I think it begins when she pulls out um, the recording of Grace singing to her and hearing her voice and remembering that. And then when they are trying to get out of that houseboat and we see that she's stuck in the mud and they're trying to get her out, and she has those visions of the Walker's trying to get her and Morgan's trying to help her. And again, it's coming back to her. All that Morgan has done, has sacrificed, has protected her. So slowly we get to see Ren on this journey of figuring out what she wants. Even though she's 8, in this apocalyptic world, you're not 8, it ages you up. So she's already preteen to me in knowing what she wants. And we saw that with Judith also in The Walking Dead. So um, I just, I just really appreciated her character in this and how she evolved from the beginning of the episode to the end. And I think it was just really, really good to see that. The other things that I wanted to briefly mention was at the end when Padres is coming to pick up Ren and they get there. And at first, they wanted Madison dead. They told Morgan, okay, we don't need her anymore. But then they're putting her on the boat and said, we have use for you. And I thought, okay, half a day ago or a few hours ago, you're ready to offer. Now you have something for her to do. So they kind of flipped what her purpose is and what they need her for. I don't know if they were testing Morgan. They could have been doing that. And of course, then they take him too on the boat. So I think in doing that, in taking Madison and in taking Morgan and also putting Ren back on the boat as they all head off back to Padre, I think that's going to light a fire under each of them. I think that was probably not the right thing to do. And so we will see them get together and, you know, figure out how to get out of Padre, because I know we see them in the future heading to King County, which I'm so looking forward to. I think that's probably one of my uh, the most anticipated for me at this time as to what's going to happen there. Um, because I do want to see him go back and revisit and see uh, what's there and what kind of memories he will face there. And I also am really curious as to where everybody else is. I know we're going to see June, and we are going to see a darker June. I believe that is what Jenna Elfman may have said, or I may have read that. So, what does that mean? And I'm be really curious to see that. Also, Daniel was on the edge there with his, everything that he was going through with Luciana. So, how has his mental capacity fared? So we'll get to see that also. And I really want to know with Dwight and Sherry, they have a baby. That baby has to be 7. Okay, am I not remembering correctly? She is pregnant. Yes, I think I'm remembering correctly. So that baby, where is that baby? And is it on Padre? Are they on Padre because they were separating parents from children? So there's so much to look forward to. I'm really excited to see, what happens. And I do want to mention my favorite moment in this episode was with Ren when she says that she doesn't want to go back. And she tells Morgan, "You showed up. You showed up." That's what every kid wants of their parents, for their parents to show up. And I thought that those were great words for Ren to speak. She tells them, "Look, Padre lied to me. They said you couldn't protect me." She tells that to Morgan, "But you did." She tells Madison, "And you protected me now. You sacrificed, you saved me." So she's giving them both a purpose to go on and to work together and to get out of there together. She also tells Madison, "There are other kids here that you put on this island. So basically, you owe these other kids their lives too." So that was my favorite part. I thought, oh man, it takes a kid to remind these adults what is important. And so I thought overall this episode was really good. It moved all of their stories forward. It gave them all a purpose. It let us know where they were each at. And so, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Um, I don't know. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. I'm going to hopefully you have some great thoughts to share with me at some point. I want to uh, thank you for joining my live stream today. I do want to say that The Walking Dead, Dead City looks so exciting. I cannot wait for it to come out. I don't know if you've seen it. If not, you should look it up. It looks really good. There's a lot of action in it, and there's some zombies in there that are crazy looking. And so I just think it's going to be good, and it's very exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be in June. But again, I want to thank you for joining me on my live stream today, and for taking the time to be with me. And I want to say that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We are grateful you tuned in. And we hope something that we said today resonated with you, gave you a chuckle, some happiness, some positivity, or inspiration. Please subscribe to our website, screensinfocus.com, and tell a friend. We would love more members of our TV club. Next episode will be on Fear the Walking Dead. You can check out my weekly Facebook Live on what to watch this week. And you can find all of that in the show notes or go to my website at screensinfocus.com. And we will see you next time. Bye.